Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, the director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence, and today I've come out to Albert Bridge. It's this really nice bridge here, it's all lit up, so I thought it would look kind of cool for the shot. I'm out actually meeting a few people for this film, and today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Central London versus West London, or like Zone 5, Zone 6 and that kind of thing, and to try and get at a couple of the differences, because they are very inherently different places. It almost feels like you're in a completely different place when realistically you're only about 7-8 miles away. So I think the first difference is in West London, I've done these sort of videos where I play this character who basically is kind of taking the mick out of, you know, the typical YouTube Shorts, TikTok thing of like going up to someone and asking them a question and then they give an answer and then you have a bit of a back and forth, or that kind of thing. So I've kind of gone up to people in various locations, and I do find that when I come to Central London, I do the videos in Central London, it's a lot easier to get talking to people because there's a lot of tourists, there's a lot of, you know, that kind of thing. And while people aren't as ready to just come up to you and start talking to you, when you do actually find somebody that is, you know, you can go up to them. And what I'm trying to get at is people are more, how do I put it, more approachable, more willing to stop for a chat compared to people in West London or East London or South London, where people are kind of just trying to get on with their day. When I was filming these videos, it was very much when we were filming them out in Harrow or in Ealing or wherever, it was quite hard to actually, we had to kind of go on a hunt for people that looked like they would be willing to stop and talk to us. So I think the first thing is, whilst people in Central London, you know, are kind of going around, they're also kind of tourists. So you can go past, yeah. Just doing a video about Central London, really. Ah, thank you. I know it's further than it looks. I'm actually, you know, a stuntman right now, because if I fell off this, I'd die. So anyway, that's kind of the first difference that I've noticed between Central London and Outer London. And that is something that I really do like about Central London. I did do a video about why I dislike Central London, and there are a few things that I dislike about it. But today I kind of want to do the opposite of that and just do, not just the opposite, kind of a comparison. Because West London as well, the shops in West London are quite different as well. If you're going to have a specialist shop, it's very niche, and it's the sort of thing that you would need a car to get to. For instance, there's a lot of drum shops, for instance, in you know, Outer London, and they're usually kind of near like an A road or a motorway or something like that. So because a drum kit, you couldn't buy a drum kit and then take it on the bus. It would just be physically impossible, or you would have to be absolutely insane. So a lot of those kind of things don't tend to be in these sort of areas. Here you tend to get stuff like you know, Vogue clothes shops, and you get various restaurants and that kind of thing, because this is a place for people to come out and spend a fair bit of time. Whereas with West London, it's kind of the place where you return. And I'm using West London just because it's the one that I know the best. I'm West London born and bred, so I know West London. But I presume that these things also apply to East, South and North London. And from what I've seen going to those parts of London, it does seem like it's the case. I think the next thing that's the difference between Outer London and Central London is just how interconnected everything is in Central London. When you're out in West London, for instance, you might be in Hounslow and you want to go to Brentford. It's not really walking distance. It's somewhere that you've got, you know, you've got to get the bus there, or you've got to dedicate yourself to a 40-minute walk. Which, you know, I like walking, but if I need to get somewhere quickly, I will get the bus. But compared to here, I walked here from Tottenham Court Road, probably about a 40-minute walk, and it's a very different part of London from this part, which is just by the Thames. That's on the opposite side of this is the Thames. And every part of Central London has this quite different feel to it, and they're also close together. Like Soho is right near Tottenham Court Road, which is then near Fitzrovia and Belgravia, and you know, so from there you've got two alternative sort of scenes, and then you've got two much more upper class, almost old money feeling kind of scenes. And then you know, another thing is the architecture. You've got an awful lot of very tall and quite stylized looking buildings. A lot of modernity is springing up around London, and I find that quite cool. I like a lot of the architecture in Central London for the most part. There are some buildings that I'm not a huge fan of, but I do find that the architecture here is fairly more inspired, and that's obviously because they're trying to attract tourists, and they want people to sort of stand here and go, ooh, yeah, snap, snap. I'm gonna put that on my Instagram, and then it'll be like, oh, I've been to London, and you know, that's a great way of advertising London, which then helps the economy and so on. Because these sort of parts are tourist, I won't even say tourist traps, because that implies like kind of negativity. I feel like they're just tourist destinations. And they're fun, you know, and it's nice living in outer London and having these things nearby, whilst also what I like about outer London is that, because I'm more of a rural person at heart, I don't particularly like the hustle and the bustle of places like Westminster and you know, Soho. I'm really not a fan of Soho. I know it's not central London, but Camden as well. Very busy, packed places where it feels quite hard to breathe, and it feels like the buildings are all so big that, you know, you don't really see much of the sky. If you're walking down the road, you'll see this thin strip of sky, and it's all right for a bit, but it's something that you don't want all the time. And that's why it's nice to live in outer London, not just because you know, the rents and stuff are much cheaper. But I think the next thing that I'd like to talk about with regards to West London versus the rest of London, or central London, is that, you know, the transport connections obviously are a lot better in central London, but you don't particularly need them because everything is so quite easy to traverse. Even though London, it's not like, say, New York, where if you're on 2nd Street, I think it's like 2nd Avenue would go that way and 2nd Street would go that way. So streets go that way and avenues go that way, or it's the other way around, or something like that. But the point is, you don't really need Google Maps to get around a place like that. London doesn't have that because London was a city that was built very, very quickly. Sorry, it's the total opposite. It was built very, very slowly over time, over hundreds and hundreds of years, whereas New York kind of sprung up over the course of, 60, 70 years. And so it was able to be more designed from a top-down perspective, whereas this is just, you know, the city has kind of gone with the flow of things, and it has led to a bit of an archaic design, look, and yeah, he just shouted out, hey, so check him out. If you pause the frame, you might be able to find out what he is if you had an advert on him or something like that. But yeah, London is very much an archaic city that is very easy to get lost in, particularly because there are so many side streets and so many things will look so completely different. If you go off at Liverpool Street, you see the business sort of areas with the big skyscrapers and the office blocks, and then you go further down, you see the pubs, the restaurants, blah, 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 and it starts to take you towards Shoreditch, which is a very hipstery kind of area. So, and it's a very kind of gradual progression as you go down that road. I can't remember what the name of the road is. But you see this big, vivid change in the architecture. And it's so nice to have that variation. Because West London, North London, South London, they do have the odd thing that is quite cool. But a lot of the architecture is a lot more one note, maybe two note, because there are some neat things. But yeah, the architecture is something that is really amazing about out here. And I think finally, my last point would be around the people. Because if you live in outer London, you've probably been there for a bit more time. So I made a video about community within London. I was talking about how you should go out of your comfort zone and try and find community. And in central London, it's a fair bit easier to just get into a chat with someone because no one knows each other, everyone's a stranger, and so that leads to some fun conversations. Whereas in outer London, it's not quite like up north in like a little village where everyone knows each other or anything like that, but you are going to see the same people again and again if you live there. You're going to see like Dave, who lives at number 43, who's always like sat outside having a cigarette and on his phone. You're going to see Andrew, who lives at number 68, who you know, is constantly saying hi to everyone, and you'll see him at the kebab shop sometimes, and that kind of thing. And you know, you might have the odd conversation with him here and there. And you'll go to the pub and you'll see the same sort of few people every now and then. You don't have to duck if you don't want it. Because it's kind of, that's what I kind of like. I like the people going back and forth because it's the people of London, and that's what I wanted to get across, is that I like the variety that London does have to offer, because it's got areas that feel more countryside, like your Epping with Epping Forest, and like Bromley, which full on does not feel like the city at all. You've got the posh parts of Harrow, which honestly, if it weren't for the fact you can see Wembley Stadium in the distance, I would fully believe that is, you know, like Buckinghamshire or somewhere like that. So you've got so many places to kind of go around, and I kind of sound like the London Tourist Board at the moment. So I can't really think of anything else I want to add to this. London is a particularly important place to me, and it's somewhere that I've struggled with. We're like brothers in a way, you know, we don't like each other, but we love each other, sort of thing. And I'm going to live here as long as I can, as long as it's affordable, and as long as there is still that community feeling. And if that ever sort of goes, then I'll go along with it. You don't have to duck, by the way. Nah, just some more people that are going back and forth. I feel like I've covered more or less everything. Put down in the comments some differences that you think I have probably left out, because I kind of did this video quite off the cusp, as you can probably tell, because I'm kind of mincing my words and kind of going around various points. Tell me in the comments, you know, what you see as being the difference between, you know, outer London and inner London, and which do you prefer? Do you like inner London? Do you like outer London? You know, some people prefer one, some people prefer the other. I prefer outer London personally, but that's kind of because I've lived there all my life. If I grew up in, you know, these kind of areas, well, first off, I'd be a different person, but second off, I would like this sort of area more because it would feel more like home. And to me, this doesn't feel exactly like home, but it feels near home, which is kind of cool. It's kind of fun. And yeah, I'd just like to kind of talk about it a little bit and try and get my my approach to what London is and has to offer out there for people to kind of get to understand. And if you are recently moving to London, if you're an immigrant that's you know, is trying to settle down in London, and you feel like you're lost in this very big city, please put your story down in the comments, and you know, we can try and we're trying to build a community with this YouTube channel. And very importantly, I want to try and get across the idea that you can find community in this place, because people here are much more loving and open than some would like to have you believe. People are so welcoming and nice, and they're not nearly as rude as or violent as the stereotype tries to make out. You know, negativity can be overblown. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Check out Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. I'm really proud of this. It's going to be so much fun, and I cannot wait for you to see it. So I'm going to leave you with this shot, Chelsea Bridge, because it's a really cool shot, and I will catch you around.